Welcome back, everyone. My name is David Webb, and today we're going to jump right into it with 3 more books that every writer should read. Let's get started. Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you again for joining me. Before we get started, I wanted to remind you real quick that I started a brand new video series this week going over my book, The Light Thief, going chapter by chapter, illustrating writing techniques, showing you what I did well and what I did wrong, so that you can learn from my successes and mistakes and become a better writer. In light of that new video series, The Light Thief is going to be on sale for one more day at 99 cents. So if you're watching this video on Saturday, June 27th, be sure to pick it up right now because it's super cheap. If you're watching this video on any other date, the ebook is still really cheap, $2.99. It's not going to set you back much. And once again, I make almost no money off of this, like a quarter. So I'm not trying to take your money. I'm trying to get my book to you so you can read along with me. So don't miss this opportunity. The video covering the very first chapter is already out and I think it went really well, and it's only going to get better from there. So don't forget, pick up your copy today. But for now, on to the book recommendations. First off, we've got Telling Lies for Fun and Profit by Lawrence Block. This is probably one of my favorite books on writing. Lawrence Block is a really funny guy to read. And not only is his advice on craft really good, but he also gives tips on the psychology of writing, covering things like writer's block. Really, if I had to liken it to anything, it would be as if you took my YouTube videos and put them in a book. I'm not saying I get all of my video ideas from Lawrence Block. He and I disagree on a few key points, such as revising your novel as you go. He supports it, I really don't. But the book is really well balanced between the psychology of a writer and the craft of writing. It's an older book, but don't let that discourage you. Most of the advice is still solid. Am I saying that writing advice can deteriorate as the years go by? Absolutely. If you follow the writing advice of decades past, you're not going to do a good job of reaching the readers of today. Writing styles, attention spans, the market has changed. So you do need to approach writing in a modern way. But most of the advice in the book is solid and will serve you quite well even today. Next up, we're going to break formula a little bit and go straight on to a fiction book. And this month's recommendation is none other than The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is one of those rare books that's incredible and a classic, but the movie is somehow better. I say this with the perspective of someone who read the books first and then watched the movies. But really, they're mostly different. The movies, I'd say, focus more on the action, and the books more on the rich nature of the world. And for those of you bitter about Tom Bombadil not being in the movies, trust me, I was too. And then I grew up, and I realized that Tom Bombadil, while a great character, didn't necessarily drive the narrative forward, and therefore was really an extra character that you could go on without. Also, deducting another point from the books, in the movies, you really saw Legolas and Gimli become friends. You watched it happen. But in the book, if I remember correctly, trying to quote verbatim, Legolas and Gimli had become fast friends. But you didn't really see their friendship form. And because it's such a strong friendship, such an important friendship, I think it's really important that the audience watches it happen. And you just don't get that in the books. That said, the books are incredible and I highly recommend them. There are some people who watch the movies and then read the books and just say that the books are not that good, but don't let them fool you. The books are amazing. And finally, we have our wild card. This is a brand new segment that I'm introducing in today's video because in my previous book recommendations, I've always done one book on writing craft, one on personality development, and then one fiction book that I've enjoyed. The problem is, not for my lack of reading, but I'm a believer that if you read too much on personality development, you're not actually going to get anywhere. You're just going to be obsessed with reading about it. Reading about improving your life isn't improving your life. The books I've recommended already are more than enough to change your life, but only if you implement them. So from now on, for the foreseeable future, my third book will be a wild card. Some random book that I think you should read. And trust me, it's not going to be completely random. I will always give you a reason, but it's not always going to fit in any certain category. But today, my recommendation is going to be The Emotion Thesaurus by Angela Ackerman and Becca Puglisi. Puglisi? Puglisi? Puglisi. 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 I'm sticking with that. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Anyway, this is a reference book for writers. It is important that you show how your characters are feeling and not necessarily state it outright. It's the classic rule of showing versus telling. It's so much less powerful to tell your reader, Anaya was sad, when you can instead show that your character is sad through their actions, through the way they speak. And this book does a great job of breaking down different emotions and then showing you how people express that through the way they look, through the way they feel, through the way they talk. I highly recommend this book because showing versus telling is that important. So pick it up. I do not believe that you'll be disappointed. All right, thank you again for joining me today. Don't forget that The Light Thief is still on sale for 99 cents just today, so pick up your copy. That's gonna be it from me today. My name is David Webb. Thank you for joining me, and get some writing done.